Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Bonnie's Babble. So, earlier this week in the comments, I had YouTube Angie request me to do a talk or a topic about my surgery that I had back in July. I had a robotic hysterectomy back in July. I'm 38 years old, and I basically had to have a hysterectomy. I didn't have a choice. But I'm going to go back to the way beginning and start that way because then you'll kind of understand why I had to have it. So back in February of 2013, right? Was it 2013? 2014. 2014, I had traveled to the Philippines for work, and I was there, I think I was there a day and a half, and I ended up getting really sick. And my coworkers there took me to the emergency room, and I didn't know how sick I was actually until I actually arrived at the hospital there. They did a bunch of blood tests and CAT scans, and they found out that my colon had ruptured. Now, I have a disease that is called diverticulosis. And basically, diverticulosis is little holes in your colon. And sometimes food or waste can get stuck in them, mostly like little seeds that you eat, like from raspberries, strawberries, the popcorn hulls, little stuff like that that doesn't digest can get stuck in those holes and cause an infection, and then it can cause you to what they call have diverticulitis, which is an infection of those pockets, the diverticulosis pockets in your colon. So obviously, when I was in the hospital, I had the ruptured colon, which means I had like diverticulitis at the time. And now I had previously my colon had ruptured in October of 2013, but it wasn't a big rupture. It was just a small, tiny hole, and it healed on its own. And at the same time, now I was in the hospital for that as well. At the same time, I had a cyst on my ovary. And my doctor really didn't do anything about it. They said, it would go away with antibiotics or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I was in the hospital, I believe, maybe about a week for that, maybe even less. I'm not even sure. And then fast forward to February when I was in the Philippines, and boom, my colon ruptured again, which this time it was a bigger rupture. And I needed to have emergency surgery. Now, with me being in another country and not having any family or any, I had some familiar faces there because I had previously traveled to the Philippines the year before, so I knew some of the people there. But I was just really, I was adamant I did not want to have the surgery there. I was like, no, I will go right home right now and I will go have the surgery right now, blah, blah, blah. And basically, I was told that I was septic and I would not make it. I would die on the way home. I would die in the plane if I didn't have the surgery. So at that time, they had, my doctor was called and everything. And my doctor's like, no, if she's got to have it, she's got to have it there. So I ended up having the surgery there. As I said, I was septic. I was very sick. I was sick, very sick. I was knocking on death's door pretty much. And so not only did I have issues with my colon, they had found out eventually, obviously, after they had done the surgery, that my ovary, the one that I had the cyst on, was actually gangrene when they went in. And on the way up to surgery, my appendix ruptured. So while I was in the Philippines, I had part of my colon removed, and then they actually put it back together. Now, some people that have to have the surgeries, they actually have to go on those colostomy bag, yeah, colostomy bags. Some people actually have to go on those until their colon heals enough to get put back together. But I had a really good colorectal doctor in the Philippines, and he decided that he would try just to put my colon back together right away and to see if it would work. And obviously it did work because I did not have to have a colostomy bag. So while they were in there, they found my ovary, which was gangrene. So they removed both my ovaries, and obviously because my appendix ruptured, they had to remove that. They had to completely cut me open from, I want to say, right under my breastbone, maybe a little bit lower, all the way down to my pubic area. And they had to completely clean my whole abdomen out, every organ, everything, because I was septic and the infection was throughout my whole abdomen. So I had some drains. I had 3 drains in there, and I also had 65 staples in my belly. And I was in the ICU for about 2 days, and then I was put in a regular hospital room. All my coworkers, they took turns coming to see me, staying with me in the hospital. They made sure that I was really comfortable and that I wasn't, left alone and stuff like that. So I ended up, I think it was after, I was there a total of 3 weeks. I was going to be there for 3 weeks anyway, but I was there for a total of 3 weeks with the surgery. And then I was finally able to fly home. Now, during this whole time, Craig had gotten a passport and he was trying to get out there to be with me, but things just weren't working in his favor. The weather was causing issues, closing down airports and stuff like that. So by the time he was able to fly out, I was already approved to fly home myself. So I flew home with all the staples in me. They did take out the drains before I left. They did do that. And I got home and my friends had thrown a fundraiser for me. They had raised some money for me to help pay my rent because I was going to be out of work for a long time and stuff like that. So I flew home and I spoke to my regular doctor here, and he referred me to another surgeon because I was having problems with my staples popping out. Well, I ended up having to have another surgery, which was almost exactly a month after the first surgery. They had to go in and they had to reopen the incision and clean it out real good. And then I ended up on a wound vac to help close my wound because my wound wasn't closing properly. And that was excruciating. That was another story in itself. It was hell. It was pure hell. But I healed from it pretty fast. And I had a nurse coming in 3 times a week to change my bandages and change the machines and everything. So it was pretty good. So fast forward to about 6 months. Every 6 months I'm supposed to have a CAT scan to check my colon and make sure it's still healing properly, stuff like that. I had a scan and they found cancer cells through a pap smear, and through a scan they found cancer in my cervix. So that was the recent surgery that I just had in July. They did the full hysterectomy because I had only previously just had my ovaries removed. So I was going through really bad menopause, and my doctor was just kind of like, well, they should have just removed it all, but they didn't. So let's just go back and take the rest of it out. So that's what they did, especially because I had the cancer anyway. They were just going to get it all taken out and get it taken care of. So I had a robotic hysterectomy in July, which is where they made 6 little incisions in my belly, and they did my hysterectomy that way. Basically, they had to do cleanup of adhesions in my belly because I had a lot of them from the previous surgery. That actually took the longest. The hysterectomy, I think, what did he say? It only took like 45 minutes. Yeah. And the surgery, I think, was 3 hours long, something like that. I think I went in at 9 or 9:30, right? Yeah, and I was out by 1. So the longest was cleaning up the adhesions and stuff like that. I do have hernias. I have 2 hernias from the previous surgery. They were supposed to get removed, but they didn't remove them. I think their biggest concern was getting rid of the cancer. So, like I said, 6 little incisions. They cleaned up the adhesions, and they actually did everything vaginally, where they just took all my organs out that way. So I didn't have a very long heal time for that. It was about 2-3 weeks. I still have, obviously the scars. I have my doctor says my belly looks like a road map now because I'm going to include pictures in here so you guys can see what the surgery was and what it did to me. So if you're squeamish and you don't want to look after this video, don't look at the pictures, but I'm going to include pictures of my belly and also some pictures of the Philippines and everybody that was there for me because I really appreciate everything that they did for me over there, and I made some really good friends out of it. So how I feel now, Well, obviously I'm going through menopause really young, and it's not fun. I have very bad hot flashes. Sometimes you may see it on the video, I'm sweating really bad, and that's because I'm having hot flashes. It's really, I don't want to say it's difficult, but it's really, sometimes I get sad because, you know, I just know that, so, it's hard to explain. I feel like I'm not like a woman anymore because my organs are gone, but I know that's not the case. And I know that there's a reason why they're gone, you know, because I had cancer and I really didn't have a choice. But at the same time, sometimes I just get sad. I did have a little bit of a depression after the surgery. I think I'm doing better now with it. I still have dreams about like me being pregnant or getting pregnant. I think that just comes along with the territory. So it's hard to explain, I guess. Just at times I feel really sad, but I know that it was for the best. And so after the surgery, I am now cancer free, and everything is gone. I've had some testing done already, like blood tests and all that other stuff done, to make sure that everything is going okay. And I still have to do a colonoscopy and also another CAT scan, which should be coming up actually within the next month. So once they do that and figure out if everything's okay or not, then I'll be... Basically, that's just the gist of it. I don't know if anybody wants any more information or wants to know anything else about my surgeries or anything like that. If you do, please just leave a comment below and I will answer that. Tomorrow, I will resume with regular vlogs for Vlogmas. Be looking forward to us going to go see the Christmas lights. We still have 2 more places, I believe, that we're going to try to go to. Maybe 3. I'm not sure yet. And yeah, Christmas is coming very soon, so I'm excited. And yeah, tomorrow, ask me about that. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't done so yet, please click that subscribe button. And please share my videos with everybody. I hope you have a great night. I love and appreciate all of you bonbons. I will see you tomorrow.
Jolly old Saint Nicholas, lean your ear this way. Don't you tell a single soul what I'm going to say.